Griffith. Griffith from the anime and manga series Berserk is one of the darkest and most messed up characters in all of fiction. He was the charismatic leader of the Band of the Hawk and had a dream of ruling his own kingdom one day, and he was willing to do anything to achieve that dream. Literally. It all started to fall apart after Guts, his closest friend and strongest warrior, left the band. That loss shattered Griffith's sense of control. In his desperation, he did something rather unexpected. He seduced Princess Charlotte, which led to him being captured and brutally tortured for an entire year. When Guts and the others finally rescued him, they didn't find the shining commander they once followed. They found a broken, starved shell of a man who could barely speak or move. Griffith held the Crimson Behelit in his hand, which is basically a demonic relic, and that moment directly led to the beginning of the event known as the Eclipse. Everything around them changes, and the entire Band of the Hawk is pulled into a hellish dimension known as the Interstice. That's where the God Hand appear. They tell Griffith that he's been chosen and that he can still achieve his dream if he offers the lives of his followers as a sacrifice. He agrees without hesitation, of course. Everyone is branded with the Brand of Sacrifice, which basically marks you as an offering, meaning demons will hunt you down for all eternity. The apostles descend and start slaughtering everyone. They tear through the Band of the Hawk like animals. Every friend Guts ever had is brutally killed right in front of him. Griffith was reborn as Femto, the fifth member of the God Hand, and his first act as a god? He violated Casca, the woman Guts loved, right in front of him while Guts was unable to do anything to stop it. After the eclipse, Griffith returned to the world as the savior of Falconia, a shining messiah who built the last great human city amidst the chaos. And hey, in Griffith's defense, at least his "I'm gonna build a kingdom" plan technically worked. Just, at the cost of literally everyone who cared about him.
I sacrifice.
Anton Chigurh. Anton Chigurh is one of the most terrifying and relentless killers in modern fiction. From the moment he enters the story, it's clear he is not just another criminal. He is a force of inevitability, a walking embodiment of death with an odd moral code. Chigurh's pursuit begins when Llewellyn Moss stumbles upon a briefcase containing $2 million from a drug deal gone wrong. Chigurh is hired to retrieve it. His methods are cold and brutal, leaving no room for negotiation, showing that in his world, human life is worthless and fate is absolute. He tracks Moss across Texas, killing anyone who stands in his way. From the mechanic who helps Moss to strangers who unknowingly cross him, Chigurh executes them, whether by bolt pistol or a shotgun. Chigurh shows no guilt or empathy for his victims, and couldn't care less about their suffering. He reduces life to a coin toss which he uses to decide who lives and who dies. In the end, Moss is killed by other criminals before a final confrontation can occur, demonstrating that Chigurh's presence and pursuit of inevitability extends beyond his own direct actions. Chigurh himself survives a car accident, leaving the story unresolved and reinforcing his role as an almost mythic force, death that cannot be fully stopped or predicted. And on the bright side, if you ever want to see a coin toss with truly high stakes, Anton Chigurh has got you covered. It's just that tails usually means you're dead.
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
Judge Holden. Judge Holden, from the novel Blood Meridian, is one of the most terrifying and enigmatic figures in modern fiction. He's bald, very tall, with pale white skin, looking like a fat version of SCP-096. Holden first enters the story as a companion to the Glanton Gang, a group of scalp hunters traveling through the lawless borderlands. The kid, the novel's protagonist, and the other gang members are drawn to him, both impressed and unsettled by his vast knowledge and charisma. Judge is a psychopath who doesn't care for human life, committing horrific crimes against humanity. Too disturbing to name here if we want this video to stay up. During the gang's confrontations with local populations and rival gangs, Holden not only participates in the killings, but seems to delight in elevating them into ritualized acts of terror, teaching the men to see brutality as an art form. The worst part about him is that he's also immortal, possesses super strength, and is basically unstoppable throughout the story. But he's not just a physical threat. He has unmatched intelligence, speaking fluently in multiple languages and discussing law, philosophy, and natural history, all while orchestrating death around him. I mean, he managed to manipulate a small town into killing their preacher. The kid encounters Holden decades later in a saloon. He then follows the kid into an outhouse, dragging him into a stall with a little girl who was also present in the saloon. What happens to the kid is unknown. One theory is that the judge assaulted and then killed the kid, while another suggests he manipulated the kid into harming the girl. After that, he goes on to dance completely naked, as if nothing happened, saying that he never sleeps and that he will never die.
Whatever in creation exists without my knowledge exists without my consent.
Johan Liebert. Johan Liebert from the anime and manga series Monster is the living embodiment of pure, calculated evil. He looks like your average man, not particularly strong or anything, but that's the thing. His evil comes specifically from psychological torture and manipulation. His story begins with Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a neurosurgeon in West Germany. One night, a boy with a gunshot wound to the head is brought into the hospital, Johan, along with his twin sister Anna. Tenma is ordered to operate on the mayor instead, but he disobeys, choosing to save the boy instead. The mayor mayor dies, Tenma is punished, and Johann and his sister vanish. As a child, Johann and Anna were part of a secret psychological experiment in East Germany at an orphanage called 511 Kinderheim. The place was designed to break down children's identities and rebuild them into perfect citizens. The result? Johann manipulated everyone there into slaughtering each other. After escaping with his sister, Johann continues his pattern, quietly inserting himself into people's lives and destroying them from within. Without moving his finger, he convinces people to take their own lives, to murder loved ones, and to destroy everything they care about, all through words alone. Throughout the series, Dr. Tenma hunts him across Europe, driven by guilt for saving his life. Meanwhile, Johann manipulates governments, criminals, and ordinary people with terrifying ease. He even causes the entire Red Rose Mansion organization, a group connected to Kinderheim's creators, to collapse from within. Johann wants to stage the perfect suicide by making someone else kill him, erasing his existence while proving that the line between good and evil is meaningless. He even chooses a specific orphan boy to inherit his identity, continuing the cycle of manipulation and despair.
Only one thing's equal for all, and that is death.
Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs is one of the darkest, most calculating villains in fiction. The story begins with Lecter incarcerated for his cannibalistic murders. He is always calm, composed, and very intelligent, with the ability to easily manipulate people, controlling situations even in captivity. FBI sends a trainee, Clarice Starling, to interview him. Clarice seeks his help to track the serial killer Buffalo Bill. Lecter agrees, but on his terms. He manipulates the investigation, giving cryptic clues in return for painful memories of her childhood. He plays psychological games with her, probing her fears and insecurities while remaining polite and calculated. Clarice does manage to catch the serial killer, but Hannibal quickly escapes custody, murdering several people in the process. He even cuts off a police officer's face and wears it as a disguise along with the officer's uniform to make his escape. They mistake him for a wounded officer, of course, and on the way to the hospital, he kills one of the medics escorting him before disappearing without a trace. He's a psychopath with no empathy whatsoever toward his victims, or should I say his meals.
What does he do, this man you seek?
Alucard. Alucard from the anime and manga series Hellsing is one of the darkest and most terrifying characters in fiction. Before he became Alucard, he was Vlad the Impaler, better known as Dracula, the cruel 15th century ruler of Wallachia. He was a human tyrant who waged wars against the Ottoman Empire, known for impaling his enemies and displaying their corpses as warnings. Eventually, Alucard was defeated, but before being executed, he drank the blood from the battlefield and became a true vampire. In the modern era, Alucard serves Integra Hellsing, the head of the Hellsing organization. He's a loyal weapon, but also a free will of chaos, fighting supernatural threats across England. His personality is cruel, playful, and sadistic. He taunts enemies, dismantles them with ease, and finds joy in seeing the limits of human courage. During the Millennium Uprising, Alucard is unleashed against the Nazi vampire army known as Millennium. Alucard battles Major Montana Max, the leader of Millennium, and his last forces in London. Alucard does manage to massacre everyone, but he gets himself trapped by Schrödinger, a being who exists everywhere and nowhere. By absorbing Schrödinger's soul, Alucard becomes trapped in a paradox, disappearing into non-existence. For 30 years he remains gone, neither dead nor alive, lost in an infinite void of souls, until one day he returns. By consuming every other soul within him except his own, he finally achieves true awareness. Alucard is now omnipresent. He can exist anywhere and nowhere at will, beyond life and death, and beyond even time itself.
I want to hear you squeal like a pig.
Kid Buu. Kid Buu from the anime and manga series Dragon Ball is the literal embodiment of evil and destruction. He has no empathy, no morality, and no purpose beyond annihilating everything around him. The original Majin Buu was created by the warlock Bibidi millions of years ago. Bibidi used him as a weapon of mass extinction, a living apocalypse that wiped out entire civilizations. He slaughtered the Supreme Kais, the divine overseers of the universe, until one of them, the Dai Kaioshin, managed to weaken him by merging his own essence with Buu's body. Buu has multiple transformations that he can go through: Fat Buu, Evil Buu, Super Buu, and Kid Buu, which is the most evil version out of all the forms. When he fought Goku and Vegeta on Earth, he eventually reverted back into his original Kid Buu form. And you want to guess what's the first thing he did? He immediately destroyed the entire planet without a second thought. Destroying Earth wasn't enough for him though, so he went straight to heaven to kill everyone all over again.
Me Boo! Kill you!
Bill Cipher. Bill Cipher from the animated series Gravity Falls is one of the darkest, most chaotic characters in fiction. Even though he looks harmless, Bill influences people and events from the shadows. He's a trickster and a master manipulator who enjoys psychological games. Bill often forms deals with humans, granting them desires in exchange for their souls or services. His true power and darkness are revealed in the final arc of the series. His main goal is a full-scale invasion of Earth, where he seeks to merge his dimension with reality, creating a chaotic, apocalyptic realm where the laws of physics, morality, and sanity sanity are meaningless. Bill's methods are sadistic. He doesn't just attack physically, he psychologically tortures everyone. He forces Stan to confront his worst fears, manipulates Mabel's insecurities, and twists reality to make friends and family turn on each other. During Weirdmageddon, Bill builds an army of monsters and corrupted citizens. For him, the goal isn't conquest or personal gain. It's to reshape reality into his chaotic image, consuming everything in the process. The Pines family and their allies do manage to defeat him, trapping him and ultimately destroying his physical form.